that day I live in a dream. I live in a dream.
So, welcome to Only Trying to Help, the podcast where we try to help you be helpful to other people. This season seems to be the season of bringing my college friends onto the podcast because I'm joined with another college friend and another one named Marie. I didn't tell you this, Marie, but a couple of weeks ago, I had another RA friend, Marie, on the show. So this is for the folks who are listening. This is a different Marie. Apparently, I am friends with many, but would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks, Kate. So my name is Marie from Maryland. I am a mom of two kids, and I am a chronic pain sufferer.
Well, thanks for saying that because I was trying to figure out how are we going to slowly ease into, hey, you have chronic pain. So can you tell us like a little bit about what that means for your life?
So every day I wake up with pain in every aspect of my body, whether it be muscular or joint. Mainly it's joint. I have arthritis, which I was diagnosed with in 2020.
You know, I'm sure you've seen this, but there are, 40th and 50th birthday cards that make jokes about your body hurting, and there are t-shirts you can buy that say something like, I wake up every day, with my back in pain, and I think people playfully make fun of the idea that we get old and our bodies hurt, and haha, isn't that funny? Tell us what's different about having chronic pain versus maybe getting a little older and having a tough time getting out of bed some mornings.
I think for me, what's different about that is that, well, being a former college athlete, when you're not able to do the things that you used to, and you see your kids playing. So we grew up playing volleyball. Both my kids play, and you can't do those things anymore. It takes a mental, not just like a physical hit, but it does take a mental hit on you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a part of your identity you're on the sidelines
Yes.
for.
hmm
Yeah. And what is it that you think people commonly like misunderstand about chronic pain?
Oh, that comment of you're too young. You're too young, as if people who are in their, I'm 41 now. People who are in their 40s and younger aren't allowed to be in pain. That's reserved for our boomer generation and older. That is absolutely not true. I mean, I wish I wasn't. I wish, someone would be like, oh, you're too young. Yeah. I mean, I just think that I guess it's what they call the invisible illness, or the invisible illness is what this is. And most people don't understand that, when you're walking out of your car and you're limping, it's not because you want to, I guess.
Right, right. You're not trying to join this club. Like you're not knocking the
No,
door, you're not knocking the door down to get into this club. This is a membership you didn't ask for.
absolutely. It's nobody asks for this. I mean, I've seen posts of children, going through this. Can you imagine having to tell a child who's, suffering from juvenile arthritis, tell them, oh, you're too young? That just, it's so naive and ignorant, I guess is the word. Ignorant.
Yeah, I suppose I don't know. You tell me because I'm not in your shoes in any way, but I suppose there's a way that could be delivered that is a little a little less rude. Like, it is just so terrible to see a young person suffering like this because in my mind, I usually think of this as something that happens to older people, and I'm so sorry that it is happening to you. I feel like that's a little different than you're too young for this. Come on.
Right. I think the acknowledgement goes a long way. That's something that a lot of people don't do it just in general with anything, right? Like whether if they're suffering from depression or physical ailment. I mean, when you say, "Oh, you're too young," you're just being dismissive, and something as simple as "I'm sorry that you're going through that" is very comforting.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you find, Marie, that like you sometimes have to like cancel plans with friends or sit things out?
Yes, all the time, all the time. There are days when sometimes I feel like a flake just because my friends all want to get together and do something, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna pass today because either I overdid it yesterday from um I'm still involved in a lot of my kids' sports stuff. So I'm usually coaching or helping out in clinics or doing other volleyball type things. So, you listen to your body. If you can't get up the next day and you just want to sit and relax, then that's what you have to do to save your own sanity.
Yeah. Yeah, like even the way you said like I feel like a flake, isn't that the truth um that judgment is out there for canceled
Mhm.
plans. Um I'm thinking about a friend in my life who does very often cancel plans, like to the point where like when it's an hour before we're supposed to do something, I'm watching my phone kind of waiting for the cancellation
All
to
right.
come in. And my husband said the other day when it happened again, my husband said, seems like that friend is kind of flaky. And I thought, yeah, it probably does look like that. And yet, I don't know. I don't know. Does anyone want to be flaky, or is there very likely some chronic condition in this person's way of keeping plans? And it may be pain like you experience, it may be anxiety like many people experience, it may be depression, it may be a million things. But I just suspect if somebody chronically cancels plans, that there's something behind that. Um, and I guess I take it as a positive thing that they still make plans with me. It's not that this person just doesn't want to hang out with me. we make plans. It just seems that very often at the last minute they get canceled. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm glad that you are cognizant of the fact that there are other reasons why people would cancel. Most of the population, I don't think, are thinking outside of that. They are thinking, well, they're just not a good person, or well, they're gonna flake out anyway, so they stop being invited to things. Um, it's it's disheartening, but as the person on the other side who actually is the one canceling plans, I mean, we don't want to be in this position. It's nothing that we can help. And I feel like a lot of this, our pain is almost, I would say it's almost like somebody who is suffering from depression and anxiety, because a lot of times we do suffer from that as well, of the person we were before. And you kind of mourn that on a daily basis. So I think if anything, we as a population needs to stop judging. Just be nice. That's all. Be nice and understanding. I think our world would be a better place if that was the case.
I mean, think the best of people, and I know there's a whole group of people out there who would say, well, assuming your friends have depression and anxiety and chronic pain is not thinking the best of them. I'm not assuming anything. If anything, I'm assuming that they have a good explanation, and that this has nothing to do with me. Um,
Right.
yeah, I think there's probably the risk of taking canceled plans personally, and I do not. Now, maybe it's easy for me because I'm also an introvert who usually feels a little bit relieved when plans get canceled.
Same.
Yeah, I'm that friend who's like, oh, thank God I don't have to go. So, I always tell people it's pretty safe canceling plans with me. I'm usually like, cool, no problem. I'll put my sweatpants back on, plans canceled. So maybe that sets me up to be a little bit more understanding in these moments, but I wish we could all be a little more understanding in these moments, introvert or not.
Right. I think the one when you said that, don't take it personal, it is something that a lot of people take that personally. And it reminds me of the book that I read, was like the Four Agreements. And that was like one of the things to in there about, how to live your life is just not to take things personally because it's a lot of the times it's not about you.
Mm. No. I wonder, does it ever cross your mind, Marie, that like if I cancel plans, people might stop inviting me?
Oh, absolutely. And it's happened in the past. And I did have a group of friends where they stopped inviting me because I canceled plans. And this one didn't have to do with my chronic pain while I was canceling on them. I mean, at that point, I was going through a major depression post-divorce,
Mhm.
and it was they had no idea why. Like, and when I finally got to the point where I was okay, putting my face out there again, I did explain to them, the reason why I was MIA was because I was going through a lot mentally, and I mean, after that, it was they were able to understand,
Yeah.
but I still had to give an explanation, which I was hoping that I didn't have to. Kind of like,
Mm,
hey, you've been my friend for so long, why couldn't you have been there, regardless of what I was doing?
mm. Yeah, that's a good point. We do often feel owed an explanation. Like, even if it's not something pretty major, like what you just described, like, let's just say you and your friend have dinner plans, your chronic pain is acting up, you've got to cancel your dinner plans. Your friend is expecting an explanation.
Hmm.
Um, and what a world it would be if we could just say, I'm not going to make it tonight.
Yep. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period. And I feel like people who suffer from these disabilities, I think we all feel like we have to explain all the time because nobody sees it, right? So I have a permanent handicap tag on my car, and I walk out of my car, and I personally feel like if anybody approaches me and questions me, I feel like I'm ready for that explanation. I feel like I have to um, I get the looks all the time, but I have yet encountered somebody who would come up to me and ask me like, why are you parking here? But in the event that they do, I have an explanation, and it gives you anxiety having to go through that. Like every time you go park at the Target, it's
Yeah.
like who's gonna come up to me? No one has, thankfully, but it's definitely been it's always in the back of my mind.
Yeah, it's I'm not surprised that people are giving looks because I've been in the car with a person who would be the one giving that look. I can remember growing up and seeing the adults who were driving the car make comments like, why do they need the handicap spot, or
Hmm.
why do they need to park there? And I guess, maybe this is another important point for our listeners, which is like, be careful what you're even saying in front of your children. um okay, maybe you're thinking, yeah, I would never confront a person. Good for you, you would never confront somebody. But like, if you're rolling your eyes in your car and your 10-year-old is watching you say, they don't look like they need the handicap spot to me, your 10-year-old is learning to question people and judge people and shame people, and just to be mindful of who's watching and listening and absorbing the messages that you're putting out there. So thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, no, I think that's something that I've had to teach my own kid because I mean I've been judging people. I think we all do, right? And until it happens to you, then you're just like, oh, okay, I need to step it back a bit and remind myself that there are people who you just don't see their physical pain, mental pain, anything pain. There are people who go through things on a daily basis that you have no idea about. And even as a simple scoff, right? Your kid sees that, and they see that, and that gets hidden in their mental bank, and it'll come out not in the correct way as when they're adults.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what sparked us having this conversation was you had posted something on Facebook about like the things not to say to someone with chronic pain. And at least some of them, maybe all of them, I can't really remember, but at least some of them seemed like well-meaning things that they think they're saying something kind or helpful. And you're trying to tell us, Marie, like, it is just not that kind and helpful. One of them, I think you already shared, was you're too young for this. People probably think that's a compliment. I'm calling you young. And you're saying, really, this is not a helpful thing that you're saying. Can you think of other examples of things that maybe are coming from a good place, but are just not cool to say?
Yeah, I think one of the other ones is giving your opinion, period. I think that is something that, unless you are in our shoes, we have, or at least I have done my research. I have looked into all the ways to not feel this way. And for you to suggest, oh, have you done yoga? Have you, taken vitamin X, Y, and Z? Like, already thought of it. Like, just I get it. Thank you for helping, but no, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm over here laughing because what you said about a person's opinion, just period, is not helpful, could be something we say on every single episode of this
Right.
entire podcast. I'm at a point where, and I'm not proud of this, but I'm at a point where it really brings out my sarcastic side. And I know that's not helping anybody either. But when people just start spewing their opinions at me, I say something like, oh, good. I was really hoping to hear the world's opinion on my life today, which of course I don't mean, and I'm being sarcastic, and I'm sure nobody really wants my sarcasm either. But this this is what happens. It's like I'm at a point where I'm so tired of exiting my home just to face everyone's opinions about me. And so thank you for sharing that one. Is there anything else you want to add to this list?
Um, Wait, it was actually a post that I saw right before I got on. If somebody had posted this cartoon of a man sitting, I guess it was like a metro or a bus or something. He looked like he was going to work. He had a briefcase, glasses, and in line was a woman with a baby, somebody in crutches, and an old lady, and I guess to be funny, a zombie. And the tagline was, "Who should he get up for? Which one of these people who are standing, he should get up for?" And I'm looking at the list of all the comments, and somebody was like, "Oh, definitely the woman with the baby, or definitely the woman with the cane." And then I read one person's comment who says, "Who's to say the person who's sitting down doesn't need to be sitting down? What if he has a back issue or arthritis on his feet?" And I mean, I commented this morning. I was like, so serendipitous that this actually is popping up on my feed right now. Um, Most people will automatically say baby, the grandma, the person with the crutches. Yes, I get it. But they berated the guy who didn't get up. But when you think about that, how do you not know that he's also suffering from something?
Yeah, exactly. I'm even thinking just the other day I was at the airport and I was traveling with a bunch of people who I knew, and we got out of the car to go check our bags at the terminal, and this guy who I know, I'm with all these people, his wife grabbed like three bags and he grabbed none, and she's walking into the terminal like rolling two suitcases and a bag in her arms. She's got her arms full of all these bags, and I joked, like, you're just going to let your wife carry all the bags and you're going to carry nothing. And we had fun with that and we were laughing about it. But I thought, when I see that in strangers, I don't know why that's happening. And the assumption may be, what a jerk that guy's being. He shouldn't let anyone carry all of his bags. This is not a gender thing. This is like, one person shouldn't be empty-handed while the other person's got full hands, might be my assumption, might be my judgment. And now I'm thinking, you have no idea why that's happening. Maybe he has numbness in his arms and, can't hold the bags up, and whatever it may be. Now, I think it was fine in this case because I do know them and we had a good
Mhm.
laugh about it. But as I'm looking around the world and I see those kinds of moments, like somebody not getting up, giving up their seat, or somebody taking the elevator one floor, sometimes we might think, come on, just take the stairs. This elevator's crowded, and we just don't know. We don't know why that's happening. And to make judgments about it is just an unnecessary negative energy in the world. Like, why waste your time with those negative judgments? Assume the best of people and keep it moving.
That hurts. It hurts to be taking those stairs. And the pain isn't just for that moment that you're taking those stairs. It's going to be, it could last a full freaking day. So take the freaking elevator. I mean, if that's what's going to get you to your destination, take the freaking elevator.
Yeah. And I think, you tell me if you want to put this in your own words, because this is your lived experience, not mine. But I think it's really important for people who don't understand this to hear that when you say it hurts, you don't mean it's a little uncomfortable, because probably all of us would say, yeah, climbing the stairs sucks. And it is nice to take the elevator. I think you're trying to say this is a different kind of pain that people who don't have chronic pain may not understand. Am I right about that?
Oh, absolutely. When I go to the doctor's office and they ask me, what is your pain level? They with the smiley faces and stuff, and they ask you your pain level from 1 to 10. I'm like, that doesn't pertain to me, because my pain level at a 5 could actually be a normal non-chronic pain sufferer's like 10.
Yeah, you're saying you're so accustomed to this that your pain tolerance is probably so high that what you would rate a 5, I would probably rate a 10. I would say, oh my gosh, this is debilitating. And you would be like, yeah, that's just like a normal Monday for me.
Right.
Marie, was there anything else you really wanted to say that you didn't get the chance to say?
No, but I do just want to reiterate, just be mindful, and be mindful of those around you. It's not about you. Don't take anything personally. And I think just know that if somebody is suffering from something, whether it is a chronic pain issue, mental health issue, acknowledge it. That goes a long, long way.
Yeah. Yeah. If you really love and care for someone, why not just say, I really love and care for you. And it's hard to watch you go through this. I'm so sorry that you do.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for doing this. I think you're bringing a whole different voice to the podcast than we normally hear from. I tend to, not always, but I tend to bring on a lot of people who are social workers or psychologists and therapists. And so we just tend to focus on a lot of mental health problems. And that is unnecessary, right? Like, we want to look out for and help our friends and family members through all sorts of problems, not just emotional ones. And so I'm glad you were here to kind of bring a different voice. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Kate. It was great to catch up.
Take me in your arms. I don't want to miss a day without you. Let's stay young forever. There is nothing we can't do. And nothing can break us apart when we're together. Facing the sky, we know that we can fly on the wings of love. And we can climb on every mountain top. I never knew eternity till I met you. Since that day I live in a dream.